Welcome back to GSD Talks number 7. Pretty excited. Today we had Jason Scott from 120 VC. Tim and Lisa, thank you very much for joining. Why don't you give us a little bit, what did we hear about, what did we learn, and kick it off?
Well, thanks, Lee. GSD Talks number 7. So excited we've kept this going. You know, Jason Scott is a highly energetic person, and he is so passionate about this topic. You're going to be blown away with how much passion he brings to this. But he told us a couple things. He told us that project management has very little to do with the actual process of managing a product. It's about leadership, and leadership is about change. He told us that leadership is about people, and that if you're going to lead effective projects, you're going to focus on change and your people.
So I'd say that when people think about project management, they think about all the technical aspects of project management. So, you know, you're going to build a charter, you're going to define a work plan, you're going to identify all the tasks, you're going to build them into something like Microsoft Project or into Jira, and it's really all about the task management and the process. Though we believe that is important. I mean, so like leadership really is fundamentally necessary to actually take that data that you're gathering and connect it with the human beings that are delivering the outcome as efficiently as possible. So when we talk about project management, instead of starting with all the PMI, Project Management Institute stuff, or the Agile stuff or the Scrum stuff, we have a tendency to start with leadership. We believe that leadership is fundamentally about change, and all those changes are affected by people. I mean, you've heard people say it's not personal, it's just business. I think that's hysterical, because a company is just a name or a legal entity that does nothing until they bring a bunch of people together around a shared goal to deliver an outcome. And really getting a bunch of people that have, you know, their own thoughts on things to work together to accomplish something efficiently is a skill. And that skill we call leadership.
Very interesting. Definitely, it's interesting too. Coming from last month, we did the leadership side, tying it into this as well. You know, and it's very powerful and dead on and right. So, Lisa, what did you learn and take away from the conversation with him?
So I thought Jason brought up some really interesting points about this idea that the boss is an illusion, that a leader isn't there to hold people accountable, but rather to inspire people to be self-accountable, and that a good leader actually creates winning teams that produce, that work together, that think critically about issues and something that they want to accomplish at any time of day because they're inspired to do so, not because someone is holding something over their head punitively to do it.
So giving an example of what I would consider good leadership, I'm sure that we've all fallen prey to we sit down with a team member, we state the goal. Hey, here's where we've got to go. The team member's got the subject matter expertise. So the assumption is they're going to be able to figure out how to get us there. And so as the leader, I might say, hey, here's where we need to go. Do you understand? I've now asked a yes or no question. Well, the intelligent individual on the other end of that question is going to say yes, because they do understand something. So they go away, 3 days later, they come back super excited and they plop this deliverable down on your desk and you're like, oh, that's not what I expected. And tragedy ensues, right? Because the unprepared, or let's call it the boss, is going to feel like they've lost 3 days. They didn't get the deliverable that they expected, and that's going to impact them negatively. And so they might say something like, you should have, you didn't understand. They might be critical, which is blame, and it really shuts down the conversation. So that's terrible. Don't do that.
Aren't leaders supposed to hold their people accountable?
Oh gosh, we got to the holding accountable piece right away. I'm going to go with no, absolutely not. Like, that's terrible. It even sounds terrible. I can't believe that we say it, like, hold somebody accountable. I visualize the boss jumping on somebody and like shaking them and holding them accountable. No, the idea is that we're supposed to set people up to be self-accountable, which is the alternative to the situation that I just described. So an effective leader, instead of saying, do you understand, getting a yes, losing 3 days, and then having to deal with an unexpected outcome where no matter what, the individual that delivered is going to feel bad. They're not feeling uplifted in this moment. They're like feeling terrible because we all want to be successful. So the appropriate leadership technique is actually active listening, which is
Absolutely. Definitely comes down to leadership, motivating people, and ultimately getting an entire squad to sort of move forward in the direction they want to go. So awesome topic. Great discussion. It's good to see you two again. Thank you. GSD Talks number 7. And let's get into it.